Oh man, so the next crypto casualty is amongst us. We've got Voyager Digital restricting withdrawals from 25k to now just 10k a day. Insane. What is going on with Voyager Digital? Why is their share price plummeted, and why are they now potentially facing a $720 million write-off? This is huge, guys. We've also got to cover off Bitcoin because Bitcoin is losing some steam in the day. We got to talk Binance because Binance are making some huge moves, as well as Sam Bankman-Fried. What is he up to? I think I've managed to figure out. Guys, don't forget to smash on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. As always, if you want to trade any of the moves which we share here on the channel, I shared my view on what's happening with Bitcoin earlier today. You can do so using BYBIT. You can check out BYBIT. Links in the description. I do all my spot trading here on BYBIT, who are offering up to $4,000 in bonuses. So earlier today, we shared this head and shoulders pattern. And the quick update before I get into what's happening with Voyager is we are seeing a little bit of a cooling off here. So we're starting to see that maybe we're going to get an invalidation and we could be heading lower sooner than later. Remember what I was saying in the video earlier today was the bias is to the downside. The bears continue to be in control, and we don't have any evidence of that happening to dissipate just yet. So there's people saying, oh, we're going to head back to 60k in a week. Yeah, not quite going to happen, right? We need to see what's going to happen. And right now, if we do get this cooling over, is more than likely we're going to test the bottom here of the right shoulder. And if we lose that, then we can worry about the price coming back down towards the head price, right, which is 17.5. Remember, I showed some on-chain metrics in the video earlier on, which explains why there's so much confluence around this 17,500 level. Now, that doesn't mean that the head and shoulders is completely invalidated yet. We need to see it completely fall out over the next couple of hours for that to be the case. And if we do get to the neckline and break, then you can still place this trade, but it's not something you want to be entering yet. You never enter it until you get a breakout and confirmation after the neckline, and even better is if you get a back test before then taking your long position. If you guys want to short it, that's your prerogative. I personally don't short, but you guys can go ahead and place those trades at your discretion. But that's not what the aim of this video is. What we wanted to talk about today is this, because Voyager Digital are the next huge crypto casualty. And we've been speaking about casualties, it feels like almost daily. And I wish I could say it was a surprise, but it's not a surprise at all. Given my background in traditional finance, you guys know I've been saying this ever since the Lunar issue. I was saying it before before the Lunar issue, but once the Lunar issue happened, I said this was not going to be the only casualty. And you can see now casualties are coming left, right. You can watch my Celsius video. I'll link that up. I'll link up the video on what happened with 3 Arrow Capital. You guys can go watch that as well. You've had Babel Finance, you've had Finblocks. There's loads of companies, particularly exchanges, really struggling right now, and the themes are very common. I remember tweeting this about a week or so ago. The themes are all around bad practices which haven't been learned from traditional finance, right? We continue to make the same mistakes, whether it's misallocation, whether it's over leverage, whether it's not rehypothecation. These are all common things which we should have learned, but we continue to make those same mistakes. And here we go. Voyager Digital had too much exposure to 3 Arrows Capital. If you guys want to catch up on 3 Arrows Capital, I made a specific video. Go and watch that so you understand what 3 Arrows Capital are, but basically one of the biggest crypto hedge funds in the world. And they faced a bit of a pickle. And now they're defaulting on their debt left, right, and center. And guess what? Voyager Digital have $720 million. $720 million in aggregated exposure to 3 Arrow Capital. Who is doing their risk management? This is insane. To put that into perspective, the market cap currently of Voyager Digital is sitting at 160 million right now, and their share price is taking a complete hammering. Let's take over. This is a privately listed stock, so you can see this, how this is trading on the OTC desk right now. And watch this, guys. Watch this as I zoom out and I go to the daily. What kind of a stock is this? This is insane. This is worse than an altcoin, right? Horrible from highs. And I know people that were buying this stock, popular YouTubers as well, at $29, and now it's sitting at 62 cents. Insane. Who was doing their risk management? That is what I would want to ask. How do you end up with $720 million in exposure to one crypto hedge fund in stablecoins and Bitcoin. Now we know CEO of FTX and head of Alameda Ventures, Sam Bankman-Fried, one of the key guys in the space, one of the youngest billionaires in the crypto space, has come out and given a support line to these guys. He's given them $200 million loan from Alameda's to Voyager. He also now owns 11% of the shares of Voyager. And Sam Bankman-Fried, and I'm going to come on to Binance as well. And by the way, guys, hopefully I don't forget, I've just put a note for myself. I need to cover off what Jerome Powell is saying as well, because he's speaking literally as I'm recording this video. I've got a few updates for you guys, so stay tuned till the very end. So with Sam Bankman-Fried, he now owns 11% of Voyager. That's not it. We also know he owns 7.8% of Robinhood. He owns FTX. They gave a $250 million loan to BlockFi. How could I forget? BlockFi also struggling with risk management. I guess they've got a bunch of like nursery kids, although that would be disrespectful to nursery kids. If nursery kids were doing their risk management, right? So I don't know who's doing their risk management. It's insane. So they gave a $250 million loan to BlockFi. Remember, BlockFi is privately held, so we don't know. They don't have to disclose who owns the shares unless it's more than 10%. So Sam Bankman-Fried could own up to 10% of BlockFi without us knowing. Very, very interesting. Another SEC document shows that Sam Bankman-Fried owns 8.4% of Bitwise crypto index fund and an index of the top 10 currencies. So what we're seeing is a very important point I want to mention. And this is not just about businesses or exchanges or lending platforms. This is a common theme. I'm going to come on to Binance as well. But when you're in a bear market, the opportunities are abundant. They're abundant. Everybody can see them. They're clear. You can see them. I can see them. Somebody less educated in the space can see them. But what enables you to act or not act on these opportunities is your preparation. Do you have access to capital? Are you in a position of power? Have you taken the time to go and build? That is what's going to differentiate somebody who did the work in a bear market versus when we get to a bull market, right? You'll be able to see who did that. So the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried was making all the right moves over the last 18, 24 months allows him to have plenty of cash right now. He managed his risk correctly, that he can go and buy shares of companies cheap. He can go and laugh at Voyager and take them pennies on the dollar, right? Just because they need a bit of cash flow because they didn't do good risk management. Same for BlockFi, right? Same as what they did with Bitwise Crypto Index Fund, right? They can continue to do these things. And let's take a look at what Binance are doing as well, because Binance are really making moves as well. And it's very interesting to see what is going on. By the way, I did a quick, let's show you this. I did a quick Twitter poll to ask if you think Bitcoin is going up or if it's going back to lows based on the head and shoulders pattern we shared. 72% of you thinks we're heading back to lows of 17,500. Now, Binance starting to make moves, right? Partnered with Cristiano Ronaldo on the NFT platform. Very, very interesting. And you can see this was an interesting note shared by CZ. I recommend you guys all go and read this. Even if you don't get a chance to read this, go over to my Twitter. I posted the summary. But in essence, the bit I would want you guys to focus on is the difference which he specifies between fast leverage and slow leverage. So go read this and let me know your thoughts on this on Twitter. But in essence, he's saying fast leverage is what you see on exchanges, right? Where you can quickly in a day go from $8,000 to $3,000 in Bitcoin. But the slow leverage is what we're seeing affect the likes of Celsius, affect the likes of 3 Arrow Capital, where funds lend to other funds or DeFi protocols to invest. When one of these gets liquidated, the affected lenders typically take a few days or weeks to realize or admit the pain. This creates the slow leverage pain, which we're seeing affect many of the companies today. So go look into that and let me know what you think of that. But the interesting thing we're seeing is Binance are not hanging around. And this is the other point I wanted to make. So you've got Sam Bankman-Fried who's going the very aggressive way of using his capital to go buy. Binance, we spoke about it yesterday, where Binance US decided to slash trading fees on Bitcoin. So that's really going to affect Coinbase. It's going to affect other competitors who we know are reducing headcount and suffering right now. So he's really turning the screw, right? And this is the interesting thing is we saw CZ tweet this as well. Let's see if I can find his tweet as well from CZ. Let's see if we can find Mr. CZ himself to his page. And the bit I wanted to show you was, let's see, now we start. See how he tweeted that? And this got me thinking, perhaps he was doing a bit of this rope-a-dope. CZ is more experienced than a lot of these exchange founders who are slightly younger than him and been through less ups and downs than him. He's seen these bull markets and bear markets. So for CZ, maybe he was rope-a-doping. He wasn't like spending on crazy sponsorships, and now he can get to work now that prices are back to realistic levels. Other companies, I'm not going to name them, they were going and doing all the marketing campaigns at the peak of the bull market, paying maximum price, and now CZ was almost doing like a rope-a-dope tactic, right? What Muhammad Ali used, where he would sit on the rope, pretend he's tired, and then come out to work when others are not ready to work, when they're exhausted, when they're tired. So now you can really see them coming out on the front foot to say, look, we are the leaders in this space and we're putting our foot down. So definitely something to be said for Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ over at Binance as well. The other point worth covering off is taking a quick look at Phantom. But before I do that, Jerome Powell is speaking right now, literally right now. We'll do an update on what is said by Jerome Powell. Let's pop that there. But the main things he said so far is US has a very strong, well-recovered economy. We're using our tools to affect demand. US inflation is a consequence of very strong demand. With benefits of hindsight, Fed underestimated inflation. Fed pivoted when we saw supply-side inflation didn't ease. Okay, so Jerome Powell speaking right now to Congress. This is day 2. Markets are holding up pretty well, but we'll have to keep an eye on that over the next few hours, and perhaps I'll do another update later on today to see what was said. Now, the other point I wanted to make off before wrapping this video up is to take a quick look at Phantom. Phantom is also up today, but specifically, I wanted to look at the Phantom BTC pair, because this is very interesting. Now, what I'm not saying here when looking at this chart is that Phantom's going to immediately go to the upside right now. You know my views based on Bitcoin. I still think the bears are in control. We could be heading for some more pain before starting our sideways process / long-term recovery. But what I do want to look out for when allocating projects to my portfolio is things like this. And I want to see which coins are bouncing back the quickest. When Bitcoin has a green day, which ones are moving? And this always gives you a clue, because when you look here at Phantom versus BTC, you're getting some really big outperformance here dating back to 14th of June. So that's a solid almost 9 to 10 days here of Phantom slowly but surely outperforming BTC, which is very, very interesting for it to be doing this at a bottom. It just goes to show some of the strength behind that project. So there you have it, guys. Another casualty Voyager. Again, I hate to say it, it may not be the last one. We still feels like we're not quite at capitulation. I hate to say that, but that's what gives me the kind of feeling that we most likely are going to head back to 17.5. I feel like the market is still too buoyant based on experience. I shared some on-chain metrics in the video earlier on today. Make sure you go watch that, which suggests that maybe we need to go back to that 17,500 level mark, because we're not quite in the pain levels of the bear market of 2018 and 2019. Hope you guys found this video extremely useful. If you did, smash up the like button and comment below so I know, right? Comment below that this was useful, so that way I know you guys are watching this video through to the very end and you're taking away the alpha that I'm packing into these, what I try to keep short videos. Don't forget to smash up the like, subscribe. I'm going to link up an interesting video for you to go watch here, and I'll see you